Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone XS Max and compare it against the iPhone XR and see which particular iPhone is the better one for you. Now, both these iPhones are great. I like both these iPhones a lot, but I will tell you there could be one that is better than the other one, and clearly the iPhone XS Max is a better one here almost every single which way you could look at it. But the XR is cheaper, so this one might be better for some people, but let's go see how they hold up. If you want to buy some phones that I would recommend buying this year though, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off side by side, both these iPhones I think are very, very good. On the front of the iPhone XR though, we had a 6.1-inch Retina IPS panel on it. It definitely was not the best looking panel, and it definitely was a dated panel when it came out pretty much already in 2018. And you can imagine that this panel has not aged that greatly. You can see on the front, you're getting the notch, pretty thick bezel around it, and it definitely doesn't look that amazing. I mean, the viewing angles aren't that great. It definitely is a dated panel when it comes down to it, but I think most people are pretty much used to it. You know that when you're getting a phone like this, it's not going to be the best looking thing of all time anymore. And that's just kind of what happens. So we kind of have to take that as it is, take it with stride, but that's essentially what's going on with this particular phone on the front side. With the iPhone XS Max, on the other hand, this is definitely, I would say, a way better looking panel. You're getting a 6.5-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display on this particular panel, or Super Retina OLED display. Definitely a better looking panel. I like this panel a lot more than the iPhone XR. It gets brighter, the viewing angles are significantly better, and it is pretty much a way better looking phone than the iPhone XR. The bezels are also much smaller, and it definitely is a way better looking phone in almost every single way. So this is, it's a bigger screen, it's a bigger phone, but this one definitely looks better, I would say, than the iPhone XR. In terms of the thinness and thickness between both of them, you can kind of see what's going on here too. The one thing that I actually do like about the iPhone XS Max a lot is the fact that you actually do kind of get this like reflective material on the iPhone XS Max, and the XS Max is definitely built a lot better than the iPhone XR. Like I said before, I think the XR still looks fine. I mean, you have this like type of material around it, which kind of gives it, a really good impression. I like the way the iPhone XR still looks and feels, but the XS Max definitely feels so much better. Nothing else really at the top about them. On the bottom, you can kind of see that the iPhone XR and XS Max both have lightning ports, speakers at the very bottom too. Like I said, I really like the way the iPhone, XS Max kind of feels. On the back side, I did put a skin over my iPhone XS Max, but the iPhone XR is giving you this, good looking screen too, not or good looking back too. Both have these standard glass backs though, so there's not like one that's going to be significantly better than the other one. Both are giving you cameras, but the iPhone XR has a single camera. iPhone XS Max is a dual camera, wide and telephoto lens here. Both are wireless charging, both have IP certification. Some really good stuff here for the most part. If I'm looking at one phone though, and if I'm trying to get a better phone overall, I definitely would say that a phone like the iPhone XS Max is by far the better one here in almost every single way you could look at it. I mean, this phone's going to be giving you better software, not better software, but it's going to be giving you better hardware. It's going to feel better for the most part as well, and this is a more premium feeling phone, I would say, on the iPhone XS Max than the iPhone XR. So kind of keep that in mind there. In terms of software longevity, they're both going to be lasting relatively almost the exact same time. So there isn't really going to be a phone that's going to be here that's going to last longer than the other one. They're both going to be lasting around the same time. So once again, I don't really think you should go and like buy one phone over the other one depending on which one's going to last longer. There's other reasons to pick up one of these devices over the other one. The XR and XS Max are going to be lasting almost the exact same time when it comes down to it from that perspective alone. So that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these devices. The iPhone XR has that Apple A12 Bionics chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM. Where the iPhone XS Max has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster phone between both. Okay, that kind of covers up there. Let's go and close out of the apps. There we go. XS Max is here, XR is here. Phone calls 321. And you can even see from this awkward angle that I'm in that, kind of the XR doesn't look as good as the iPhone XS Max. This one doesn't have any Wi-Fi here, so let's go out here. Clock 321. If you're going to hear, there's a garage opening, so that's why there's a lot of sound in the background right now. Photos 321. Okay, about the same thing. Camera, 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. Not that much going on here. Let's go and hop out of both of these. Let's go and get into some of these other applications. Let's go and try Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Now, with Temple Run 2, again, oh my god, I totally messed this one up too. So let me go and just close out of both of these, and then let me just retry it. So let's try Temple Run 2 again. 3, 2, 1. So sometimes that just happens. That's just life, I guess. You can see right here what's going on. Basically the same exact thing. I'm assuming the XS Max, as you can see, is probably going to be the faster one almost every single time. The 10R is not that slow of a phone. I think this is actually a pretty fast phone for its age and everything. But as you probably would have guessed it, this one is probably going to be giving you the better experience just because it is kind of that, it has more RAM and everything inside of it too. But they're also going to go down into gameplay as well. Like if you're playing a game between both, it's really not going to be that crazy big of a difference here. Like I feel like you're definitely going to be better experience on the iPhone XS Max as well. I'm thinking about these. We can try Subway Surfers if I have it here, but I don't think I have it here, so I'm not even going to really look for it, to be honest. Fruit Ninja 2, 3, 2. I don't even have that one. Snapchat 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I didn't have that one either, so I'm going to have both of these. That's very annoying. We can try Genshin Impact. I must have Genshin Impact on this particular phone. I do have Subway Surfers 3, 2, 1. Now with Subway Surfers again, great game. I love this game when it first came out. Still think it's a good game for the most part as well. You can see with the iPhone XS Max, it is going to be a noticeably faster phone than the iPhone XR. And I do think that's kind of what's going to end up happening here. Like if you're going to get the better phone, you can even see with the XR, definitely lots of glitches here. I'm not even too sure why it's glitching that much. It should have not have glitched that much, but even in the game, it's kind of glitching a little bit more than it probably should have. So I do think there's some like randomness, like glitchiness going on between both, which is kind of unexplainable. I'm not really too sure why a phone like the iPhone XR is glitching up this much. There's not really a big reason for it. I think the iPhone XR is still a very fast phone for the most part. I think this one still has a lot of capability and a lot of power, but it is very strange to me that a phone like that is performing at that weird of a level when it should have been performing at a higher level in my personal opinion. So that kind of covers it up there. Now, in terms of the camera quality, this is another interesting thing. As you can see, both have, cameras, as you could probably expect. The iPhone XR and XS Max are more similar than not, but there's a difference here. The XR and XS Max are giving you 4K at 60 on the back you can film in. The front 1080p at 60 frames per second. I will say that's kind of, the front should at least be 4K at 30, and most iPhones are giving you 4K at 60 now. So that right there is kind of like a sad thing going on for both of them. Not the end of the world or anything, but just one of those small things to kind of keep in mind. With the XR, I think this is still a very, very decent phone though. Like for one, you're still getting photo mode, you're getting all the modes built in. This was actually the last iPhone where Apple basically, stopped doing the little like just plus minus thing. It gave us actual numbers on like 5x or 3x or 2x zoom. Getting time lapse, slow-mo, photo, portrait mode, panorama mode. Still a lot of decent modes here on the iPhone XR. And I think it is a pretty worthwhile camera. Like this thing is still a very, very decent camera when it comes down to it. It's just showing its age for sure. With something like the iPhone XS Max though, I definitely will tell you this is definitely a different type of camera because you're going to be getting a better camera overall than the iPhone XR. This one you can see you have 10x zoom, you get 1x zoom, so there's no ultra-wide camera here, but still it's like okay. Video mode, slow mode, time-lapse, portrait mode, panorama mode. This is still one of those other types of cameras which it's still going to be giving you a decent experience. It's not going to be perfect though, but it's like a decent job for the most part. So to kind of sum it up, what I'll definitely tell you is I definitely do look at a phone like the iPhone XS Max, and I'm still very, very happy with the way this particular phone has kind of aged up the last couple of years, to be honest. It's not a perfect iPhone, but if I'm going to pick up one over the other one, the XS Max is definitely better. And I will tell you the XS Max is definitely, I would say, worth the upgrade more so than the iPhone XR. The only thing going on for the iPhone XR, though, I would say that is an advantage is the price tag. This phone is much cheaper and it's a little bit easier to buy just because it's been out and more people were able to buy it over time. But if I'm going to recommend one, the XS Max is more, but even then, buy the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the 13 Pro Max. It's worth money to go and spend up to the iPhone 13 Pro Max than to buy one of these iPhones, in my opinion. So that's kind of how I feel about it. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video.